Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Thursday Night Racing TNR. Welcome to round 9. Yotodromo Enzo and Dino Ferrari, or as we know it, Imola. Welcome to co-commentator today, guest co-commentator, supposed to be out on track in a certain green Z4, but has chosen rather to sit up in the commentary box where it's where there's less chance of getting damage. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you for the introduction, Jonah.
Fantastic.
And, fantastic to be in the com box with you. No, I'll rather be up here enjoying myself than sweating down there.
Decided to skip the race because he had a race of his own getting home. So
yeah, no, I've done enough racing.
The adrenaline peaked earlier, and now it's enough.
You know us old guys, we tend to finish up quite soon. You know what I'm saying?
Speak for yourself. But back to round 9. What can we expect? No idea. So we've got Chen, who really showed his pace last week. Want to see if he's going to be able to replicate that pace this week. We also have Muna. He is back after missing a couple of rounds. And
little inside information that Muna actually got himself into form, practiced a little bit, so can only be a dark horse for this one.
Doing some practice, so has put some time into it. He should have some pace, and then obviously your championship leader, can't count him out of any of these rounds. There's Max, still sitting in the pits for now. We're riding with Chen. He's one of the first men out of the pits.
Yeah, he's also slowed down, it looks like. He's probably still warming the tires a little bit. Driving a Ferrari in Imola can only be good.
Should be red though.
Yeah.
I know there's other colours of Ferrari, but I still don't like it. They may be not too bad in yellow, but no. I've seen a blue one and I was disgusted. I actually saw a blue one in Umhlanga and I was not impressed. I was like, blue? Really? No.
No.
Absolutely not. Unacceptable.
It's like Crocs with socks.
That is acceptable depending on what part of the country you're from.
Yeah, if you Sunday morning in Bloemfontein, like just before church, maybe, and that's okay.
Let's have a look at some of the lap times so far. Obviously Chen is the first guy to get over and set a lap time to 1:47.4. I think they're expecting lap times a lot lower than this. I'd say I'd say low 1:44s, and Chen was talking earlier about a 1:43.
Just had a little oversteer moment and almost binned it into the wall there.
So yes, earlier Chen did mention 1:43 as a possibility. So while other drivers saying a 1:44 is their limit. So we'll see. I think that's the sort of pace we're expecting. Muna has set the fastest laps so far. That's a 1:45.0.
Not bad for your first lap out, man.
So said he's had some time out there. He's actually in a Porsche today.
Oh, he had a word with his engineer just before qualifying. Can only produce good results there.
That is quite the controversial livery. I spotted it somewhere. Let's have a look. Where was? There we go. Oh yes. Do you see that?
This blue and orange.
Yes, that is a controversial livery. I don't need to explain why.
Yeah, I know. You see it clear. I get it. It's, for just saying that, I might get banned from YouTube for 10 years. I don't know.
We have Gavin. He's just emerged from the pits. Seems like he's joined Team Audi for round 9. After spending most of the season in a Renault, he's been jumping around of late.
I don't know, maybe he found that it's easier to put fuel in the Audi. I don't know. Ooh.
Of course, early days, still over 20 minutes remaining. And we're going to go for a 1.5 hour endurance race. We'll see Imola at night. Could be
interesting, huh?
Could be something very interesting. I haven't even thought of that until now.
Oh, we know maybe weather-wise what that's doing?
As far as I understand, we will remain dry till the end of the season.
Okay, yeah, because we had a few wet races
and we will reintroduce the dynamic weather in the new season. That's as far as I understood it. But when the problem was when we did have the dynamic weather on, it always rained.
Yeah,
I don't remember having a race that was dynamic that it just didn't happen to rain. It always rained, and sometimes it would rain right through the night. And
I would think Imola with all its undulations will build up some mini Olympic-sized swimming pools out there for the rain. Yeah, I think advice setting will go down well.
We ride with Devon, currently in 9th, 151.0.
In the Honda, as usual, or Kura as we must call it.
See, we do have 5 viewers over on our on the YouTube stream. So
that's fantastic. Welcome.
Thanks for watching. If you're not one of the drivers and you're watching, let us know. Let us know if you have any pole position predictions.
Yeah, also, unfortunately, I don't have the chat up, so if you spot the chat, you can just read it
I've got it. Yes, so I'll try and keep us updated. Sometimes I miss like 10 minutes worth of comments, and then I feel really bad. So I'll try to keep an eye on it. Judge currently in 5th, 149.4.
That's good.
Saw him go faster than that in practice earlier. I think he did a 147.9 if I'm not mistaken. So I think he's got more than that. Raptor 149.0, also 5th. Devon has improved. He's won 4th, 148.6. Close times there in the midfield.
Yeah.
Chen currently 3rd, 146.3. He's in the pits and he comes right back out. Nizmax 144.5, and then the Munna 144.3. So the low we've got to the. My prediction was low 44s, and we've already reached low 44s, and there's still more than half the session remaining. So I think these lap times will just come down.
Nizmax just posted just 1/10 slower, 1.5 tenths.
144.5.
I see the two protagonists going at it again. Good old rivalry these two gentlemen have. Good to see.
And then Nizmax, obviously Nizmax currently leading the championship by I hope I'm not wrong, but I think it's 87 points. He's been lucky. Muna has missed, I think, the last 2 races, so obviously dropping points there completely.
Oh, Nismek's off the
He'll
road.
be looking to get a good result today. So
You can see they're really starting to push to the maximum. Nismek's making a small mistake there.
Chen still third for now, 1:46.3, 1.9 seconds off of provisional pole. Gavin in fourth.
That's good from Gavin.
Doing well, racing in the Attie this time round. Actually have a few Audis out on track this time round, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's Nismax, Gavin and Raptor.
Yeah.
Yeah, Raptor also in a... Here we go. So, have a look at some onboard footage of Imola. Maybe we can get some better than that. Well, there we go. So let's go with Devon.
No pressure, Devon.
If he crashes too, then we know that's really a thing.
Yeah, we leave the onboards then. Shite, poor gents. Oh, cutting some clean lines there.
Let's see it's a fast circuit in places, but in other places it's really so difficult to slow down.
That chicane he just went through there now, Devon.
Extremely difficult. He did that pretty well. I had a few laps of this earlier, and not one of them did I get the chicane that good. So this corner over here, running wide, gives you an immediate invalidated lap, and it counts for this and the next if you run wide there. They're very strict on the corner cutting there. Devon goes over the line. And it's a 1:47.1, so he improves slightly. Stays sixth for the time being. Not enough to change his position. Let's ride with fourth place at the moment. Just gone third, he's improved. Nicely done, 1:46.0. 1.7 seconds off of provisional pole. Your top two remain the same. That gap has just slightly increased to 2/10, so I think Muna just shaved off a little bit. Yep. We didn't notice it, but that was 1/10. Now it's 2. Obviously, just found a little bit. Mentioned, I don't know how true this is, but from the words, from the mouth of Muna, he said that a 1:43 was impossible. It was too much. A 1:44 he could do, but a 1:43 was impossible. Well, so I'm pretty sure he's going to do a 1:43. Yeah. He's probably been doing them the whole afternoon. That's why he said it's impossible.
I'm pretty sure he's going to pull into the pit soon. Just unload a bag of cement or two and just eat it.
Get a nice view now. Very fast part of the circuit. Start of the circuit. A lot of deceleration here.
Brings back memories, so much memories, this track.
Does have its similarities to Monza if you think about it. It's a lot of straights and a lot of chicanes that if you get wrong will compromise the straights. So
yeah, exit, corner exit, yeah, it's paramount.
Similar to Monza. If you're not getting those chicanes right, the straights will never reach the desired top speed. We have a car there off.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
No distraction there from Dirk. Either he has extreme concentration or he just didn't see that. Terrible driving.
Just missed the apex there. Het aqua minerale.
Now here's that very difficult chicane we mentioned. Clips the curb on the inside. Still 14 minutes remaining in the session.
Still plenty of time for improvement. Oof. I feel Dirk is just getting down one gear too much.
Muna did improve again. He shaved off another tenth, a 1:44.1 now coming from him. So that gap now 0.3 of a second between first and second. Nismax does improve. He sets a 1:44. Look at that. Muna a 1:44.17. Dirk a 1:44.18. 0.07 of a second separate the top two.
The 43 is coming, Jono, I'm telling you.
This is obviously quite the circuit, history-wise. Circuit I miss, actually.
I do too.
San Marino Grand Prix. Sad that it, in its current format, I'm not sure it can host an F1 Grand Prix. So
I don't know. The problem is it's in a rural area of Italy, so
yeah.
You know, with Liberty Media being the owners, you know.
In terms of income, I think Monza is just a more, you know, it's probably got a bigger capacity. It's closer to town, and it's going to get the bigger crowds and the bigger tourists, rather than somewhere where it's rather difficult to get to. It's quite remote. Still housing on the inside of this circuit that people live in to this day.
That must be fantastic to wake up every
Obviously,
morning.
the track was built in a village, and some of that village still remains. So there are still houses on the inside of the San Marino circuit. So I'd love to have one of those houses on a GP weekend. I think invite all your friends over to your house. They don't even need GP tickets.
Exactly. Open a bottle store next to your house.
I think the FIA might demolish your house. Chen, fourth at the moment. 2.1 seconds off provisional pole.
Yeah, the top two are really flexing their muscles here. I didn't expect them. I expected them to be quick, but not this quick. And yeah, the midfield quite close, everywhere from fourth place downwards.
Just over 10 minutes on the clock. The two leaders separated by 0.07 of a second. Both are out on circuit. So both looking to improve. Both want to be on pole. Luckily, you look down that list, you don't see any red. So no one has any grid place penalties.
That's good. Good news.
And considering on this track, from what I saw earlier, that's rather impressive, because it's pretty strict. So the guy's holding it together pretty well. Nismax into the pits. He wants to adjust something. Just over 10 minutes remaining. Chen also into the pits. Muna still out on circuit.
He's got this Porsche dialed in. You can see when he climbs on the brakes.
Is he gonna find the 1 minute 43s?
I think he's not far off. It's coming.
And Nismax's not far off either.
Yeah.
But he sits in the pits at the moment. Just waiting for the right time to have another go.
Muna's hunting for that.
Toki also out on circuit, still in fourth place, 1.8 seconds off the pace from provisional pole. Gavin in fifth. Not having the best of time so far in this session, 2.9 seconds off the pace. We've got Devon just behind him. He's also in the pits. And then Raptor in seventh. And the judge is down in eighth. But good to see all the human control drivers ahead of the AI.
Yeah.
And let's hope it stays like that in the race. And nobody has any interesting events with the AI. You know, just stay away from them in general. They're even a mission to lap. From what I've seen on here, I haven't actually driven in a race, but I've seen you guys trying to lap AI, and yeah, they'll go wheel to wheel.
My limited practice time in a couple of races I did join, except for the Nürburgring monsoon on slicks, I was battling the AI in Silverstone. So lapping is one thing, battling them is another.
Mona has not been able to improve just yet. Lap time remains the same at 144.179. Nizmax has come out of the pits. Needs to find 7,000ths of a second.
Which is...
But how much on edge was the previous lap already? Jen has found some time. He's brought that gap down from 1.8 to 1.5 seconds. Found another 0.3. Evan's still looking for pace. It could also be, I don't know, but it could also be possible that he's getting invalidated laps.
Yeah.
And that's why that lap time's not really improving, because they're not registering. I went around there for 10 laps and none of them were invalidated, so that's why I'm glad to be in the combat.
I'm sure
it's just looking at the list here. Devon invalidated lap, Nizmax invalidated lap, Gavin invalidated lap. So yeah, a lot of guys are doing a lot of laps for the amount of lap times they're actually getting.
Yeah, but that was Gavin running wide again. They're
Not having the best of time. Don't know if it's the Audi, don't know if it's San Marino, don't know if it's the well, they're not the title sponsor here, but you know who I'm talking about.
Yep.
It could very possibly be the F1 title sponsor. I just don't want to mention any names. I don't need a copyright strike like on Tuesday.
Exactly. Like the controversial car. You won't say anything about it.
That is actually at the release of MotoGP 19, the game, there was a patch that came out after the game's release that basically toned down some of the UI, because a lot of the guys that were broadcasting it was getting claimed by MotoGP because it was getting picked up as actual footage. They were mistaking the game for actual, as if I was taking clips of MotoGP and uploading it to YouTube, and yeah, they were picking it up as actual footage. So they had to add watermarks into the stream and silly things like that.
Well,
very strict with their content.
I didn't know that.
Very strict with their content.
But I mean,
so that's why I asked if he was riding, because the first thing when you get a copyright strike, it's usually that logo in the beginning or the theme song in the background that goes with it.
Yeah.
You can get away with that by pressing X and skipping it, not letting the whole thing play. But he didn't get it there. The copyright strike came while he was on board in a car. So I think I don't know, if the info was hidden off the screen, it might have been mistaken as actual footage, but that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, agreed. I love that game, but it's not photorealistic, not like that. Gavin still fifth for now, 3.2 seconds now off the pace.
The Muna has broken
the 143s. He's gone back into the pits and he's sitting there for now. 4 minutes remaining on the clock.
Yep, he's unpacking the last sandbag. He's coming for another run, I'm telling you.
I think he's taken out the last sandbags and he's just sitting there to see if he needs to come out, watching this man here, Nizmax, see if he can improve. Nothing for now. It goes around again. Unable to improve. Gavin's last 3 laps have been invalidated. So really struggling out there, and it's not, that won't translate well for the race.
No, he's pushing. I think
if you get that amount of penalties over the space of an hour and a half. But like I said, I did do some laps here and it's incredibly strict. I mean, there's one corner here, if you run wide, it immediately invalidates this and the next lap. And it's really not an advantage at all. You get gravel all over your tires, you lose momentum.
I think it's the corner Nizmax passed now, because he immediately slowed down after running slightly wide.
Currently in third, Chen, 1.8 seconds off of provisional pole. It's a provisional pole of 1:43.8, and the man who set that lap time said about 30 minutes ago that lap time was impossible. So Muna, if you're listening, I'll say thank you, but you know what I want to say.
Yeah, no, I think it's all that last little minute talk with his engineer there that made it all possible.
What I mean, Jeff made a special appearance at Imola for this. Called him in.
No, it's not Jeff. I can tell you that much. I won't name names, but yeah, he's got a good engineer.
You won't name names because you have no idea who the engineer is.
No, it's...
Let's have a look now in 8th place, yeah?
Yeah, no, let me not say.
Still in 8th place, we've got the judge.
I think he will be happy with that.
1:47.8, I think he'll be happy with that lap time. He was saying he couldn't get into the 1:47s earlier, so... He's doing 1:49s in practice.
I mean that... Good night. Sorry, somebody passing my com box here. Sorry, Jonah.
Gavin's still in 6th. Raptor just a 1/10 of a second ahead of him in 5th place.
Look how tight it is from 5th down to...
Do have a little bit of unfortunate news. I just need some confirmation. Nizmax has a 1 grid place penalty.
Oh no.
He's picked up a 1 grid place penalty. You can see the little, I don't know if you see it on your screen there, but the little red block next to his name. And if you bring up the timing screen, it confirms a 1 grid place penalty.
He's got some choice words with the stewards.
So if he wants to start in 2nd on the front row alongside the Munna, the only way he can do that is by taking pole.
First. Yeah. But
It's backed off, and that's the end of the session. Session is complete. Let's have a look if we can find who's still giving it a go. Seems like everyone has slowed down.
Botha.
Gavin's just not finding his usual speed.
No, he's
around Imola.
I don't know if it's the...
Seen him a lot closer to Muna and Dirk in the past. And if Chen's pace is anything to go by, seems like those two took a step up.
Well, Chen would be wanting to, obviously, he'll be bumped up to second.
So
Wanting to have a good start, and you know, Muna will be hoping that he would keep Nismax behind him for a while so he can get a little bit of a buffer. But we all know, Jonathan, endurance racing, hour and a half, it takes 1 split second to lose concentration, make a mistake, and
and then the problem with that is I think it's even a little more punishing than F1.
Yep.
You know, if in F1 you make a mistake, you break a wing, you come into the pits, change a wing, probably cost you 30 seconds. Whereas in this game, coming into the pits, repairing, you can lose over a minute. You can come out of the you can come out of the pits laps behind. So really just takes that one lapse in concentration, that one mistake, and it can destroy all the plans you had.
And we know how consistent Nismax has been. He's Mr. Consistent.
That's there we go.
Done and dusted.
We're looking at the inside of a garage now. There we go. We've got your results. They're not always on screen for a very long time, so I'm just going to try to get through them as quickly as I can. So we've got Muna in first, Nismax second, Chen in third, Toki fourth. Then we got Raptor in fifth, Gavin sixth, Devon seventh, and the judge in eighth. The rest of the drivers being made up of AI drivers, and Muna the only man to break those.
Final game, all the South Africans on top, and we got a couple of.
let's not mention them. There's 2 Germans and an American as well. I won't say anything, but honestly, the 2 flags in question that you just mentioned, look at their 2 first names.
Not in front of my screen at the moment, sorry.
Look at the 2 drivers in questions. If it were their nickname. And I know more than one British Matt.
Yeah, me too.
That does this. Actually, there's 2 in TND on a Friday night.
Good guys, all of them. Good guys.
So obviously now just nobody press return to race central, please. Just wait.
Yeah. Gavin, listen.
If it seems like it's taking a little longer than it should, wait longer.
Well, my battle with this game was to find the ready button on the grid.
It's actually that's actually one of my favorite lines from. Do you remember Johnny Bravo?
Yeah.
He goes on this thing and he's like, "If I'm not back in 20 minutes," and you're expecting, he's like, "Just wait longer." There we go. We are on the starting grid, but we're not going to get underway just yet. Obviously, if you've joined us before, you'll know. You'll see that. You'll see that time ticking down. Just doing final preparations for the race, and when that clock recharges up to 1:30, then we'll be underway. Obviously, Nismax will start in third as a result of that 1 grid close penalty. Means Chen has been promoted to the front row. Starts alongside the Muna. Only man to break into the 1:43s in qualifying.
The only thing between second grid slot and third grid slot, especially in this circuit, is that third's got the inside line, so Chen will have to cut across quite soon.
While we wait for this thing to start, just to give you a stat. Who do you think has the most wins in F1 in terms of a constructor here at San Marino?
I would probably go with either McLaren or Williams, one of those 2.
Currently joint 8 apiece. Williams and Ferrari.
Oh. Well, I'm halfway right.
8 apiece.
Yeah.
And then obviously the most wins by an F1 driver at the circuit coming the ways of Michael Schumacher with 7 wins.
Okay.
But there we go. 3, 2, 1. And we're underway. Let's have a look.
Toki having a fantastic start.
Really good start by Toki. Moves up into second place and he's going to go... No, he's not. Almost looked for a second like he was going to try and hang it around the outside. Just tucks it in behind Munna for now. But fantastic start. Still down in third where he started is Nizmax. Raptor is fourth. Gavin still fifth. Judge is sixth. Devon seventh. Where is Chen? There he is. He's in eighth. Last of the human drivers.
Oh, yeah.
Not quite sure what happened there at the start. Just not getting away. Didn't really see any contact. I missed it.
A little bit locked down. I see a spinner. Not sure who that is.
Have a look. I think that is the judge. There we go. Confirmation that's the judge. He's at the back of the field and Porsche
a little bit of damage.
looking a little offish, really.
It looks like more like a Beetle at the moment.
And that has happened in the past too. The only Ferrari at Imola. This man here, Chen, qualified in third. Then as a result of a 1 grid place penalty to Nizmax, got promoted to second, had the opportunity of starting on the front row. Didn't have the start he was looking for, found himself in 8th before half of the first lap was done. He's up into 7th. He has been able to gain a position as a result of that spin by the judge. He now trails the field. He's in 13th.
He'll come back strong. The other thing is it's easy to get caught out because you qualify with a light car. You start the race with a car fat with fuel, and if you don't adjust yourself or prepare yourself,
we spoke briefly before this race about the last F1 race to ever take place at San Marino, and you said that it was Michael Schumacher and it was quite a race. Alonso gave it everything.
Yes.
Can you remember who finished in third on that day? This is now deep thinking.
It was unlikely driver that finished third, if I can remember right. No, I'm gonna have to tell me, Jonathan.
Is Juan Pablo Montoya, also known as Lance Stroll's driving coach. How is that?
I don't know.
IndyCar champ, 2-time Indy 500 winner is Lance Stroll's driving coach.
If you've got deep pockets, you've got deep pockets.
Nicely done. So Munna leads this race. He leads by 5 seconds. Nizmax is in second. He has a red little block next to his name that usually means a penalty. We'll have a look on the timing screen in a few moments just to confirm the severity of that penalty. Another penalty as well for Devon. So 2 drivers on the grid with penalties. Let's have a look. Still very early on in the race, so I imagine just there we go, just 1 second. Nothing major, but probably if they continue to do the same thing. I've seen 10, 20, 30 second penalties on this game. So track limit's very strict.
Gavin still in P5, Raptor in P4, good start from him. Toki P3, things stabilizing a bit. And Toki not really falling away that much from Nizmax. Nizmax managing to cut that gap down to 4.9 from 5. So starting to push to get to the Muna.
You see, in F1, this circuit was known as the San Marino Grand Prix, leading a lot of people to believe this track is in fact in San Marino. It is not in San Marino, it's in Italy.
No.
This is an Italian circuit that happens to be near San Marino, and there was already an Italian Grand Prix, so the San Marino Grand Prix was born. But it did happen once. It happened in 1980. Monza was under refurbishments, and Imola held the 51st Italian Grand Prix. They only did it once though. But actually, Monza was looking a bit shaky on the calendar not so long ago, and Imola was trying to step up.
Yeah.
It seems like they got that contract all signed up. Not a track they wanted to lose was Monza. I really like this track, but I don't know if I'd swap it for Monza.
Monza is one of those classic old school tracks. You can't chuck it on the calendar.
The track I really want back, and I know it can't come back because it doesn't exist, is the old Hockenheim.
Oh.
I actually recently saw pictures of obviously somebody going around walking there in the woods and taking pictures of what was the track.
Exactly,
and the forest has completely grown over everything. You can see where there's a little bit less vegetation and it's a bit flat. That's where the track was. But no F1 circuit there anymore.
Just sad.
Another one I'd love to, and Red Bull are willing to invest the money. They want to bring back the original A1 layout of the Red Bull Ring.
Okay.
Which is obviously a lot faster
Yes.
than the track we know now. Another penalty on screen now. Actually, another 2 penalties. 4 of the drivers. Muna's got a penalty. Chen's got a penalty. Let's have a look at your timing screen. Maybe they're all 1 second. They will cancel each other out. That's not the case. Devon now 3 seconds worth of penalties. And there's Max on 2. Muna went from 1 to 2 while we were on screen here. So the penalties really racking up, and still an hour and 22 minutes to go, so if things continue like this, I think the penalties, a guy could sneak a podium here from far back just by not getting penalties.
Yeah.
A lot of Audis now out on circuit. We have 2 following each other, Raptor and Gavin. Racing line astern as they've started 4th and 5th. Haven't made up any positions. Torquay 3rd. He had a brilliant start. He went from 4th to 2nd.
Torquay doing well.
He's in 3rd. Nizmax was able to gain that position. Here we have Nizmax, your championship leader, by 87 points. Currently behind the Muna. That gap was just over 5 seconds. Over 5 seconds again. Went down to 4.5, so...
It's fluctuating quite a bit, so... Look, we don't know what fuel loads these guys are.
Also can't follow these times too closely, Wazzy, because they're a lot more live than the F1. So a guy could be going around a slow corner where the other guy's going down a straight, and all of a sudden you see that gap closes by half a second, and then it goes back to what it was, because the other guy gets to that part of the circuit where he needs to brake.
Yeah,
so
braking zone and acceleration zone, and
So basically this timing is, the way I see it, it's very accurate.
It's one thing they can put in this game, is split times at a set point. They can also make it a little bit better,
but our first comment on the stream from Chaz. How's it going, Chaz? He says, "Go Talks." So Toki has a fan on the stream. Nicely done.
Fantastic.
Presume the like came from you, so thanks. Got a like there on the video.
Yeah, good.
If you're watching, give it a like. Just let us know you were here. And
driver having some support as well, especially on stream. Always nice to have. So. And Toki doing well. Not gonna lie.
Doing a good job now. He's third. Had a great start. I don't know where that came from. But then on the other hand, we had Chen not having things his way. And he's coming into the pits, as I mentioned him. I was looking for him on camera and he's actually on his way out of the pits. But he's firmly in last now. He gets back out on circuit, obviously had some damage.
Slightly dented white Ferrari.
Still has damage on our screens. Didn't fix it completely. Judge in 12th.
Only Ferrari out on circuit, I would hope. He's gonna dodge the tomatoes, is he?
Well, that's why. I think you just confirmed why the car's white. It's the only Ferrari out on circuit, and he's hiding from the fans. They sprayed the Ferrari white, and they were like, okay, maybe they won't throw stuff if they don't.
Don't recognize it.
They don't recognize the car. It's just like. And who drives a white Ferrari?
Honestly, look, if you have a bad start and you're under pressure and you try to catch up, a mistake or two can creep in, so everybody has a
Talking of mistakes, we didn't see it on screen unfortunately, but it seems like Toki may have made a mistake. He briefly fell behind Raptor and Gav. He's been able to get that position back from Gavin, so he's gone back up into 4th, but he has lost his 3rd place for now.
Touching the grass. Gavin also. These gents are going hammer and tongs. Cutting corners. Try off. Look at Gavin. Weaving left and right.
Toki flashing the lights there.
Oof.
Gavin right on his tail.
Serious.
Not sure if he had an off-track excursion, maybe spending some time off-track and now just trying to get those tyres back up to a decent temperature, and Gavin just really attacking. Starting to fall back a little. But Raptor, he has gained 3rd place out of that misfortune. Try and give you some on board of this, and this is not good.
Commentators curse.
Brilliantly done by the commentators yet again. Gavin going over the gravel. Probably not his plan. Thanks for up to 3 likes, nicely done. Thanks guys, much appreciated.
Very expensive lawnmower Gavin is driving at the moment. I love it.
Gavin currently in 5th, and that was a bit of a commentator's moment as we went on board with him. He missed his braking point. Got a bit of gravel there on the outside. Not ideal. Toki in 4th. He's now starting to chase down Raptor. Wants that 3rd place back.
He's got his composure back and it looks like he's gaining.
Those tyres just getting back up to temperature and getting momentum again.
Nismax also gaining. I see that the gap going sub 3 seconds every now and again. So he's also on the charge. Look at that helicopter pilot. Some balls.
Nismax still in 2nd. 4 seconds now, the gap. It's remained more or less the same, really.
He's gaining. Last we checked it Tnr Round just over the 5, under the 4, over the 5. Now it's under the 3, over the 4, under the 3. So
Another thing I love about this game is we can monitor everybody's lap times and see what everyone's doing on that last lap. Mona did a 147.2, Nismax did a 146.6.
Okay, now quicker.
So just over half a second quicker. But look at those penalties.
Yeah, it's got a second extra.
It's got an extra second. That could change. Long way to go.
It's still an hour and 14 minutes. Not even close to halfway.
Quite the race. We haven't even got into pit territory. Well,
Yeah.
for the leaders at least. Some guys have been introduced to their pit crews a lot earlier than they would have liked. Some misfortune. One of them is the man down in 13th. Last week's race winner started here in 2nd. He's trying to put his race back together. I'm starting to see the effect of the lights, really starting to dip in light.
Yeah, nightfall's coming.
There we go. See it even more from the broadcast cam. Not sure if I'd like to race here at night.
I wouldn't like to race anywhere at night, to be honest, but...
Feel sorry for the people who live on the inside of the track and trying to get some sleep.
Poor guys, they'll have an expensive Audi R8 lawnmower mowing the lawn there. Damn it.
That gap at the front, 3.7 seconds. 3.9 now.
But talking about that, Toki is in 3rd now, Gavin's in 4th, and Raptor's in 5th. So Raptor must have made a mistake. Unseen by us, of course.
Unseen by us yet again. But we're fantastic. But Raptor down in 5th, so these positions have changed. Toki was in 3rd, he's back in 3rd, Gavin was in 5th for most of the race, Raptor in 4th.
We had another Audi lawnmower moment.
The Audi team not going to be too happy with that, but they do have a man out in front. Not out in front quite yet, but he's in 2nd. 3.6 seconds. Gap coming down.
It is coming down.
Ever so slightly, but it is coming down.
Oh, it's getting there. I think...
But Mismax would have to finish ahead if he were to finish the race. Cannot. He's got that. He's got to finish over a second ahead. He's got an extra second worth of penalties. Then we'll try and keep an eye on that timing screen, because I'm sure those will change.
I haven't done any laps on the circuit recently, especially in this game. I don't know what tyre is like, but I would think it's quite a bit with all the braking zones and corners and exits. I would think tyre life is a little bit, or the wear is a little bit more than normal circuits. So I think the pit stop window would also be quite important. So still a long way to go. 3 seconds in this game is not
absolutely
much.
Nothing. In an endurance race, 3 seconds means nothing. I mean, not sure now what round it is. I've done 9 rounds of this, but it was an earlier round 2 or round 3, and Nismax and Minna, they got away and they raced for, I'd say, until the hour mark. These two just went at it. Gap was constantly about a second, and they went into the pits for the first time. And when they came out of the pits, they were unfortunately 18 seconds apart. That's how pit stops work in this game. A few extra liters of fuel can mean a lot of time in the pits. So really have to have your strategy calculated, have that fuel calculated correctly. I won't say anything That's number 4. Yes, you. Hope you've got some fuel in there.
Yeah, well, he's been going for a good strong 20 minutes, so he must have managed to put some fuel in the car there.
Raptor still 5th. Audi's in second, 4th and 5th.
Yeah, it's a battle of the German car manufacturers by the looks of it.
Devin still holding strong in 6th place. He's actually not far off
No, he's gaining
from
slightly.
Raptor and Gavin. Not far off this battle. Even Toki. He's cars are not separated by much.
No.
2, 3, 4, 5 seconds separates Toki, Gavin, Raptor and Dev.
I think the front two is going to have the 2-horse race, and this is the battle we'll be watching. These bunch of guys. They're going to go hammer and tongs.
We'll have a closer look at that battle for the lead, if there is one. So we'll just keep our eyes on that time, but for now, in 3.5 seconds and 4 seconds. Just, there we go, told you, back up to 4 seconds.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the 2 Audis are really hunting each other.
Stay here, 2 Audis getting very close together in the dark. It'd be a harsh situation if they're not careful.
Yeah. Well, you call it horse, I call it lawnmowers.
Maybe they should think about building lawnmowers. Just having a look at that, Toki is in 3rd and the only one in the top 6 without a penalty.
That's quite impressive though.
Everyone else there in the top 6, Minna, Nizmax, Gavin, Raptor, Devin, all have penalties. And then Chen down in 13th also has a couple. The other driver out on circuit with no penalties just yet is the judge. He's down in 12th.
Oh, with them already making a pit stop, I would wonder if they have enough to get to the end. You never know.
You see Gavin, the one getting the latest penalty. Just 1 second. And Devin also up to 3 seconds now. There is that Ferrari.
A little bit worse for wear. I don't know if we fixed all the damage on it. The car doesn't look happy handling around the corner.
I'm sure he chose to repair the damage. He wouldn't go out there with a damaged car, but seem to have the pace just yet. Let's have a look on the last lap. Your leaders, the Muna 147.6, Nizmax a 147.3, so 3/10 faster on that last lap. And then Chen's pace just not quite there, doing 149s.
I think his car's not happy at the moment. I think the gap at the front will hit sub
Toki in a
30 seconds soon.
comfortable 3rd for now, but he doesn't want those 3 to catch up.
No, it doesn't, but what's helping him is Raptor and Gavin having a go with each other, so...
those three catch up to him could get really complicated.
And then Devon also not far off in his expensive Honda. Doing well.
Your leader?
Something tells me these two gentlemen here out in front have a little bit of a sweat session in the week. I have to ask them.
Well, for a fact that Muna has spent a lot of time out on track today. So, guilty.
But they are driving beautifully.
Doing a great job.
Cutting corners, hitting apexes, nailing the exits. And they're doing well. But we still got an hour to go, Jonathan.
A lot can change, and we spoke briefly before the race, and we said that one lapse in concentration can cost you like a 2-minute pit stop. So just need that one mistake, and you can drop this whole race, basically.
Well, being in Imola, you can land up in somebody's front porch.
Yeah, pretty much. You don't want that. Hey, if an F1 car lands in my front yard, I'm not letting them take it back.
Exactly. Sure.
It's staying there. It's on my property.
Put a sticker on it and say, sorry boys, he's mine.
Toki's still in third. I'm just getting a terrible echo on my headphones.
Toki's getting the gap closing slightly. He's starting to focus on the gents behind him. So yeah, this is going to get tasty very soon, I think.
That gap now a second. Gavin closing in.
Gavin got past Raptor, obviously.
Seems like he has found pace in the dark.
Yeah, so is Batman.
Pretty much. Except he's like Spider-Pig.
I'm pretty sure there's some people on the stream here watching thinking, what the hell are these guys talking about?
No idea. Gavin will know.
Worry. Yeah, you will. But perhaps they're not giving up. He's also right on him, having a look on the inside. This is letting him know, listen everybody, I'm here.
Gap now at the front.
1.7.
1.4 seconds there, so it's been smaller than we've seen it all race long.
Mr. Consistent is putting the pressure on. I can tell you that much.
It's when these small mistakes start to creep in. This is not the man you want to have in your mirrors.
No,
because he's more than likely not going to make as many mistakes as you.
Exactly, especially when Nizmax is really quick or keeps his pace, is when the tires get a little bit skinny, you know. He's got that knack of not lapping as quick, but he doesn't drop as much pace as, for instance, like I would. I struggle on all the tires, and I don't know.
He can do a better job with worn tires, basically, older tires.
So we've got a fight on our hands. We've got a few fights on our hands. Oh, I'm liking how this Muna off the circuit.
There we go. Just little mistakes like that. That's the sort of thing I'm speaking about. Now 9/10 of a second the gap at the front. And we could engage in battle shortly, or will Nismax just choose to stay there for now?
I was planning a quick bathroom break, but this new development is keeping me from it. Oh, Nismax outbraking himself on slightly. That Audi spitting out flames like an angry dragon. Loving it.
Judge now has also picked up a penalty, so just one human driver left on circuit without penalties, and that is Dirk.
Oh, look. Well, I can tell you that the judge choices were
probably very bad for the commentator of the league, but I think there's something like if you get through an entire race without any penalties, I think there's bonus points. I think there's something to that effect.
Oh, okay.
So I think there is some sort of reward for finishing without a penalty, and as things stand, the only person who would benefit from that is the man in third. Nicely done. Okay. Just look at that timing screen to see the extent of those penalties.
Oh, I think Nismax just picked up. Oh no, he didn't.
Muna's still on 2, Nismax still on 3, and Gavin's picked up a couple more. He's on 4 now. Gonna have to keep our eyes on those time penalties in the closing laps.
The two leaders gaining on a car to lap obviously can only be... No, it's not 10.
Just try and... I'll flip through the AI cars so we can... There, that's the car. That's the car in 11th.
Leo, pas op. As manne.
There we go, flicking the lights of the leaders as they come around and see the lapped car. This is very... Ooh, he's lost it! Oh my word, the AI has lost it.
Look, if AI is driving a Cadillac, you must know there's gonna be problems.
I do not want to know.
Yeah, Muna
the sounds inside the cockpit
jeez, like
of that Porsche. That
sure.
And that wasn't even. There's no one even to be mad at. It wasn't even another driver. It was the AI.
Yeah,
and
look, that's. I know we try to fill the grid, especially when some of the drivers don't make it, fill it with the AI, but I mean, for that to happen, yeah, that's harsh. It's
seems like Muna also picked up a penalty, so both first and second place sitting on 3 seconds worth of penalties, cancelling each other out for the time being. They're neutral.
Well, the rules have changed now. I mean, Muna's, I hope he's not getting damage. He's 5 seconds behind Nismax. He can still in front of the pit stop window.
There we go, there he is. Let's have a look at that car. There is damage there. I don't know how bad it is for the driver, but in terms of visual damage, it's definitely there. You can...
No,
there we go.
Pulling into the
peels
pits.
Off into the pits, and this might have just gone into recovery mode.
Well, let's have a look. Jonna, I'm gonna head to the little boys' room. I'll see you in 2 minutes.
Not a problem. There we go. You're gonna have to listen to me by myself for the next couple of minutes. Have to deal with it. The leader is Nismax. This race has changed. Talkie now promoted up into second. Minna sitting in the pits, probably putting in a lot of fuel. Currently in 6th. Where will he come out? As Max leads the race by 26 seconds. His race changed in a moment. Minna is on his way. I still see damage on his car. That could very well just be the game. Not showing us what it should in spectator mode. Well, that has promoted Devon. He's in 3rd place. Minna has come out of the pits and he is in 6th place. Just having a look, where is Gavin? I don't know, I'm getting a terrible camera angle. Well, there he is. He comes out of the gravel. He's not going to be happy. He's not going to be happy. That car is not in a good state. Goes wide again. Now the... Oh, well. Minna flies past Gavin. Now Gavin trying to get back on circuit, but almost taking an AI out. Just can't... Is he doing the lawnmower thing, or is he really trying to get back on track?
No, he's doing the lawnmower thing. He wants to stay off circuit.
I think at this stage he's
he's driving a broken lawnmower now.
No, that ooh, wow.
That's proper sticking.
That could be the damage, obviously. That's just making that a very unpleasant vehicle to drive. Oof. Let's see, surely he will come into the pits at the end of this lap. And just like that, spoke about the concentration, spoke about the race still having an hour to go, and that's exactly what we mean. It just needs a moment, really. Look at this. Probably appreciate it if I stopped filming this, but
I'm sure Nizmax is pitting. Muna went through, Devon in second, Toki leading the race.
That's right, he leads on lap 21. Nizmax obviously coming into the pits, maybe reacting
to Muna
because Muna getting damage. Maybe going into the pits, filling up with fuel, going to the end, and maybe Nizmax felt he needed to get out there on a fresher set of tyres.
Wow.
But
Muna must have had a blistering outlap, or a couple of laps actually. And it seems my personal pit stop, I'm missing everything, as usual.
What's that?
I say my personal pit stop that I made to the boys' room cost me also some good action. Oh, Muna making a mistake there. Nizmax having a run on the outside.
So there's your race leader for Porsche. Talkie, lap 22.
And Devon right behind him.
Believe that is the damaged Ferrari of Chen. Devon is 10 seconds behind.
And Raptor must have also had an incident, being in 12th.
Raptor down in 12th, Gavin down in 13th. So, Gavin actually emerging from the pits, and I'm going to be honest with you, they didn't do a fantastic job.
Well,
if my car came back from the panel beaters looking like that, I'd be like, hey guys,
Yeah, and he's
listen.
titled the track. Oh, Kevin, I love this guy. Mr. Charismatic. Never gives up.
So he leads quite comfortably for the time being. Devon 10 seconds down the road in second place. And
This battle
we thought
raging
this
on.
could be all over for Minna, but I don't think so.
No,
I think Tolki
I
and
think
Devon
that
will eventually strip off into the pits, and that will leave Minna and Nizmax leading the race as they were. But in what positions? Nizmax get by? Will he try get by? I don't think he's going to try and get past in a pit stop anymore. I think they're done with that. Almost halfway distance.
Oh god, no. This is hammer and tongue now for the last 50 minutes. I can tell you that much.
This is fantastic. I haven't seen this in rounds leading up to this one. I've often seen the opposite, actually. Close racing, and then sort of after the pit stop, everyone breaks off into gaps.
Yeah.
But seems like that accident by Munna and the pit stop by Nizmax has set us up for a sprint to the end.
But how the Muna doing the masterclass, pitting early.
I actually think Nizmax slowed down a lot when Munna had his accident. Almost looked like he sort of waited for him and then saw he wasn't coming and then went. Because on that particular lap he was in the 1 minute 50s. So I think he slowed down a lot, and when he saw that Munna wasn't coming, I think he went.
Doing some evasive maneuvers to.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously lost a lot of momentum.
But I don't know if they completely fixed Muna's car. I'm not 100% sure. But
that would mean he's out there with damage.
Yeah.
Driving a
Beetle.
Decentish Porsche.
It's a Beetle with a rear spoiler. Ooh, lapping some more traffic. Almost
looks like it was repaired by some panel beaters out of Boksburg North, but
omtrent, ja.
And that's because you let the mechanic panel beat your car. One of those, we do it all. Toki still leads. That gap has actually grown between first and second. That's 12 seconds now. It was 10.
But they were on each other not too long ago. Unless I was mistaken, but anyway.
Let's have a look. Where is Toki? There he is. There's your leader. That car behind him, you're mistaking that car behind him. That is, yeah, that is the damaged Ferrari. Sprayed white to hide from the Tifosi.
That Ferrari, yeah.
Sprayed white to hide from the Tifosi. That's my theory.
Yeah. He's not leaving the main exit. He's gonna hide in somebody's backyard.
Years ago, there was a Portuguese footballer who played for Barcelona called Luis Figo, and he got transferred to Real Madrid. They're rivals. And in that opening game that he played, well, not the opening game, but the first time he played against Barcelona, now in a Real Madrid shirt, in Barcelona, he didn't play in the number 7, and his shirt didn't say Figo at the back.
Yeah.
They were trying to hide him from the crowd. He wasn't even on the starting lineup on the big screen.
But what a brilliant player.
What a player, yeah, definitely. Just had the last year or two of his career as Ronaldo was appearing on the scene. They sort of overlapped for a year or two. No doubt young Ronaldo would have benefited from being captained by
Luis.
quite the midfielder as Luis Figo. So he benefited from that. He still leads 12.5 seconds the gap now. Minute third, Nismax fourth. Gap between third and fourth, fight for third, absolutely nothing. 0.3 of a second if I'm reading that correctly.
They having an absolute humdinger, these two gentlemen.
Racing on everything they have, in the dark, headlights are on, can't be easy. Difficult circuit as it is.
Oh, Muna a little bit wide. Giving a run to Nismax slightly, not giving him space. Oh, yeah, no, this is hard racing.
It's good to see that he recovered from that accident so quickly that he was able to jump Nismax in the pit stops. I can think of a few people, including myself, would have probably left the game at that point. Especially in this game, because in this game there's no ghosting. So if you rage quit, you simply disappear and don't affect anyone else's race.
I've got a feeling that Muna will jump out of the car, heading down to the Cadillac garage after the race to have a fun.
No, definitely. I think that that driver, when he crosses the start-finish line, he should just keep going.
Yeah.
Should just drive towards the exit of the circuit and find the nearest highway and be on his way. Get rid of the plates. Spray the car white.
Or just black like every Cadillac so you can get lost like all Americans do. Oh, these oaks are having a jump. This makes having a better exit, yeah. He's opening up the corner there to get a tighter exit, to get a better run. You can see what he's trying to do. He's working out, he's following, but he's learning. He's learning where he's stronger. Each lap they pass. Look at him. He's inside, outside, having a look. He's got a run on him now. Oh. Fantastic racing.
Absolutely going for it. What makes it what makes it even more impressive is, they're both on the limit right now.
Yes.
They're both on the limit right now. They're giving it everything, and they're matching each other's lap times within hundredths of a second. It's
while they're doing this, I can guarantee you they're thinking about fuel saving, running lean at some spots, or a lap or two, saving tires, and
obviously they're gonna have at least, I don't know the fuel situation, but as far as the tires go, they're going to have similar tires. So it could be who's going to save the tire, who's going to have the better tire in the last 5 to 10 laps of the race.
I hope Jen keeps his head and just let the gents go. Oh, well done. That's what you want to see.
Nicely done. Chen down in 9th today.
He can space Ferrari red again.
Yeah, he's behind the judge. Currently in 8th.
Yeah, that misfortune.
You can get up the road just a little bit. There'll be 3 AI that he could probably get by. Or make that 8th look a lot better in 5th.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, doing a fantastic job in the front.
Lead continues to grow to Devon. Now 20 seconds. As we're talking about it, that's because Devon has dived into the pits. Man in second dives into the pits. and that will now obviously promote third and fourth. They coming around the final corner here in San Marino. They go over the start-finish line. They get promoted to second and third. Devon's still sitting in the pits. Let's have a look. Where will Devon come out? Still in the pits. Seems like he's putting in a lot of fuel. Don't think he's going to lose any more positions than that. Nobody seems really too close. And have they released him? Yes, no?
No.
Yes, no, no, not quite.
Oh, it is a Honda. They're looking for the little handle so you can pull
he's still there. He's still there. They just
there we go.
Trying to start the GP2 engine.
Yes.
There we go. GP2 on its way. And ironically, there's a 93 there, like Marquez. Honda.
Yeah. Yeah. Must be a relation. Okay. Well
he
spotted,
leads
sir.
31 seconds, that gap. Toki needs to pit still, obviously.
No, he's running deep. He must have had a lot of fuel in the car at the start. And had a fantastic start at that.
That makes the start even more impressive if the fuel load was that heavy.
Yeah.
Running deep. Maybe running out of sync with what Muna and Nismax have done.
Well, we have to keep an eye on the gaps there. Have a look what's really going on. These two still glued to each other, as usual. I can see you having a peek, and every time you're having a peek, I'm missing it.
Oh, are you missing it?
Yeah.
I'll warn you next time.
Yeah, please do.
Okay, we're just gonna have a look at the penalties and then I'll put that back up on screen. Raptor down in 13th, he's got the most. He's racked up 15 seconds. Gavin 7.
Got 5. Muno's got 5, Nismax got 4. So technically, if we had to finish the race, obviously Nismax will jump Muna.
Yeah, you would jump him if things were to finish at this very moment. There's a few tenths in it. That second would be enough to swap the positions. I'll give you a little peek into their fuel loads. Let's start with this man here on screen, Nismax. If I can get my camera to work. There we go.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then
shout numbers just in case they
I'm not going to say numbers, but those look pretty similar. And then yeah.
Sure. Huh? So you did.
Yeah. So
yeah. Well done.
Nicely done. Just over half an hour still remaining in the race of this 1.5 hour endurance race. Soon we will be in the final third. Time has gone by pretty quickly, and somehow these two, oh my word.
Oh, the Cadillac is back. No! No!
The return of the Cadillac.
Oh, no!
I don't know what to say, but all I can say is we may have seen the end of AI in
at the same corner, at the same spot. No!
I'm very sorry, Buna, if you're watching. That was terrible. I shouldn't have laughed there, but I'm sorry. That was I can't. That's like lightning hitting twice.
It's not the immovable object meeting the unstoppable force. That's just his fucking car's magnetized to this Cadillac.
Seems like the Cadillac is having nothing of it, and unfortunately, Muna pushed back. 2 seconds now behind Nismax. And
no, and it looks like he's battling. He must have some damage. Bad
not
luck.
what you want to see. Especially when you put time in.
Oh, and he's
There we
jumping
go.
over.
Now he's jumping over that tight chicane. Very
His
difficult
head-
chicane to get around when your car is in perfect condition. When it's damaged,
I think, well, it's coupled with him raging. This man is boiling, I can tell you that much.
we're not very happy right now. Last thing he wants to do is go into the pits and come out behind the Cadillac.
Maybe he doesn't have a choice. Oh, yeah, he's peeling off.
He's coming into the pits. I think that car just... we saw how he went over that chicane. I think the car's just a little undrivable at this point. And these two had been together the entire race.
Yeah, Cadillac robbed us from a fantastic dice. It sounds like...
Have a look if we
Botha.
can find the man in question. Tell me if you see him.
Yeah, there he is, Leo.
This
guy.
this is the one.
That's the cat.
Man in fifth. Leo,
Check
I
this
have
cat.
no idea. Gray. Leo Gray. Yeah. Not only took out the leader, once
tell
the
me
leader
what nationality.
managed
He
to
he must be
regain his
American.
position back into second, and he took him out again. So,
He must be American. This cat must be American.
well, I remember there were two British drivers, both called Matt. There were two
Yeah,
German
that's
drivers.
right.
I didn't take note of their name, and there was an American.
Yeah.
And this could very well be. Well,
He's a dream destroyer.
let's actually have a look at the AI. Okay, that's the British driver.
Yeah, Matthew, and there's
That's the other
another
British driver. Then I think that would be
Other
German.
one.
That's definitely German. I don't know.
Definitely German.
It's going to be between Gray and Kibble.
No, I'm calling Gray being American, especially with a name like Leo. He sunk Botha like the Titanic. Like, so starig. Here. Anyway, good stuff.
Don't be too impressed with that. I'm sure by the time we lock up the com box and get to the other party, he will be well on his way. So it's going to be one of those Thursdays that we don't hear from him.
I'll sneak in there and I just want to. Oh, yeah, well.
If he does land up on the podium, I don't think he's in the mood for any podium interview.
Anyway, back to the race. See Nizmax closing the gap to Toki slightly.
28.3 seconds.
No, we still got a race here. Toki still needing to stop. But obviously you'll have fresh rubber. Maybe can be quicker. I don't know. Time will tell, Jonathan. That's why we love commentating on these things.
That's right.
And Toki's still the only human driver without the penalty.
That's still actually a very impressive feat there.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I said, I did laps of this earlier, and there was one or two corners around here that, yeah, in a race situation, I would have hit them pretty much every lap. Very strict on the corner cutting. As you can see by the penalties, all the red blocks on the left hand side. Leader has no penalties. Nicely done. See if anyone's penalties have risen.
Because look, Nizmax, if he wants to beat him, he needs to do it by 5 seconds or more. So that's another thing in Toki's favour there.
But he's going to have to pass him and beat him by 5 seconds.
Well, even if Toki comes out like 3 seconds behind or something and keeps that gap, you know, he will still be the winner. dear, I see you jumping on board again. The commentator is waiting to strike.
Apologies to Devon if that is the case, but he's doing a great job for now. 3rd place. No. He's got someone right next to him. There we go. Where did that come
Who's
from?
that?
That's Nurse up.
No,
It
that's
is.
Muna.
It's Muna. He's up into 3rd.
He's having a charge.
Give this one last go.
No, he's driving like a man possessed. He's driving like he stole it, to be technically sound.
Don't forget there's still a 1/3 of this race remaining.
Yep. Anything can still... The Cadillac can still strike. You never know. But I have to say, Jonathan, the comment on Muna's car, it looks terrible. That really looks like a... It looks like a beach buggy. It's got the aerodynamic efficiency of a melon. Ooh, diving on the... Ooh, yeah, no, Muna's cross. You can see that.
Not impressed. And I think if he sees that Cadillac...
Oh, Toki's in the pits. Toki in the pits.
Ooh.
Comes out.
There we go. Comes out in second. 25 seconds the drift of your leader.
Sure.
So
I didn't expect
that penalty, that is technically a 20-second gap. Can take 5 seconds off it.
Sure.
If Toki were able to close that gap, he would just need to close it within 5 seconds, and he would win the race. Considering he doesn't pick up any penalties himself.
Well, I'm assuming he's got new rubber and some fuel in the car. Let's see what his pace is like.
He started very heavy. Didn't have to throw in a lot. Just a top up. Get him to the end and some fresh rubber.
Oh,
We might see.
Slightly off the circuit there.
Is your leader, leads by 26 seconds.
Mr. Consistency. Can you believe it? Strikes again. Well done.
And it just keeps on having bad luck. 3rd place. Wants to stay away from Cadillacs.
Well, Cadillacs, and there's a certain gift that you created.
Oh yes, that was
that you still post in the chat now and again.
Probably
which I love, by the way.
didn't appreciate that too much probably from him. But
you should change the car, or you must just put a sign in front of the car impacting him to a Cadillac.
Just put a big Cadillac badge over it.
Yeah.
Like same thing, but he gets crashed by a Cadillac badge. Oh yeah, you'll love me after I do that.
Priceless. Keeping a
Not the end of the world. He is still in 3rd place.
I think 2nd is not out of his reach yet. He's driving like a man possessed. And if you had any words with his race engineer while he had that pit stop, look at him, hunting. Now the man is cross. Look at that. Beautiful.
Not impressed.
No. I'm seeing...
There's the cause of it all. This cat.
Oh God. Oh dear, he's running wide. Oh, it's a disaster. Look at it.
Not having a particularly good race from the time we spent with him.
No. I'm rather not gonna say too much. Oh dear, another incident.
Jen getting involved with AI.
Going up.
Trying to get by, and the AI saying no. Chen coming off
Yeah.
second best on that occasion, and he stays 10th.
And his
You see
bumpers
this,
flapping
you see
properly.
AI taking up the positions 6, 7, 8, 9. So
Look at his
far as
bumper.
will not pick up points. So Chen will pick up 6th place if things were to end now. Then
Yeah.
obviously 7th for Judge and 8th for Raptor. Decent points on
Just
hand.
have a look. Look at Chen's bumper. I love it flapping there. In the... Yeah, no, that's. I've got no comment.
It's
Look at
starting
that.
to lighten up a little bit. We will see sunrise shortly.
Yeah, that gap over on Toki increasing slightly, so. Ooh, Toki making a bit of a mistake.
Doesn't want
Obviously
to make
pushing.
too many of those.
He's pushing to try cut the gap, but yeah, getting an error or two. But you know, he should be focusing on Muna behind and not worry about mismatch. I think personally, to the massive, impressive start he had and the consistency he's got. Not having a penalty, the only driver still not having a penalty. P2 is an awesome outcome, I think. Should just consolidate that.
Not a bad result, I think. 3rd place, considering it happened more than once.
So things settling down there at the front. I still feel a little bit robbed by Cadillac, Jonathan.
Definitely. I mentioned that in races previous to this one, we usually had a battle up until the first round of pit stops, and usually the pit stop would rob us of that battle a little bit, because when they came out, the gap wouldn't be the same as when they went in. But on this occasion, we had a pretty unique race. First and second, they were running 3rd and 4th at the time, provisionally 1st and 2nd, and they came out a couple of tenths apart. And it really looked like we were going to have a sprint race to the end, but while trying to maneuver around some lapped cars, things did not quite go according to script.
No, it was a shame.
And it was unfortunate, but really robbed us of a... would have been different. Even if they only raced for another 2 or 3 corners and crashed into each other, it still would not have been the same, if you know what I mean.
No.
The fact that the AI was what took him out. It wasn't a driver error. It wasn't somebody else. It was an AI. So
no,
it's always going to bug you. It's always going to bug you that little bit more.
Not just the AI. It's an AI American Cadillac.
You're convinced that's an American driver?
I'm convinced.
We're gonna have to we're gonna have to confirm it on the timing screen.
We will at the end of the race, but I'm gonna make another comment. If you're talking about copyright strikes and things like that, and
yes.
we've got a controversial Audi that's got the colors. We didn't mention anything of that, but I'm gonna make a comment now that will ban me from YouTube for a long time.
No, you won't.
Cadillacs are not supposed to race on a circuit. They're good for mafia with dead bodies in the boot. I mean, it's been proven here tonight.
Oh no.
It's got a handling of a, not even a lawnmower. I mean, I've got some Audi lawnmowers that's going quickly. What was that? What is that? I don't know. Anyway. Totally chasing down. And this makes trying to. Getting past some lap cars. Being solid and still the only gentleman on track. Human driver without a penalty.
Just under 20 minutes now remain. It's been round 9. The season has flown by. You see round 1. I believe round 2 is going to be a different concept. But I won't say too much about it because I'm not sure. But I don't think it's going to be GT3 cars. Bring something a little different, a new challenge. And obviously this game offers you many different options when it comes to class of car, and really go wild, not limited.
Well, I heard the feeling around the chats in the group itself, they more heading towards one specific class of car, which is quite exciting, and big thundering V8s pounding around. It's good. And you have to put the Cadillac on screen here, Jonathan.
Absolutely. Just giving the star of the show, star of the night, giving him a little bit of footage there. Trying to, like I say, I'm just waiting for him to just carry on driving after that start-finish line. Just never stop.
I'm quite sure.
Never stop at Park for me. Just head on down the road.
Jeff is already telling him, don't stop. There's one oak that wants to murder you. Please, just go.
I keep on going to that car by accident. There we go. Raptor 13th, Judge 12th.
Oh, yeah.
Chen 10th. Let's have a look. Where is Gavin? Gavin in a Audi that has had better days. If he is using cockpit camera, then that windscreen is going to be very annoying. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
That is going to be very annoying.
Oh dear.
Look at with that sunlight. That is what the driver sees.
Yeah.
And missing a brake point like that, if that's the view,
okay.
missing a brake point's not difficult.
Ooh.
It's really on edge and not finding his momentum, and
No, but obviously he's getting damage. The car's pulling to the left the whole time, but still.
And these views with the sun coming up and really hits on some of your brake points, you don't really see 100% where you're supposed to brake. Ooh, and someone's gone around on his inside.
That looks like Toki.
That is Toki. Man in second, laps the man in fifth. Look, where is Devon? He's got a slightly better view out of his windscreen. He's in fourth place. Comfortable fourth place. Devon nowhere near him. Devon 50 seconds down the road, but unfortunately Munna 20 seconds up the road, so podium seems just a little out of reach. And we joined Munna at the wrong time.
Munna.
He gets going again, but that car does not look good.
No,
from this angle. And if you look at it from the outside angle, pretty sure it's gonna. Let's have a look.
I think he's having a couple of couple of, how can I say, like comfort sips when you cut to him there. This man is not impressed.
Not impressed at all. Rocky's had a good race. I think he'll be happy with this result. Probably
Definitely.
more than he was expecting. If you looked at his pace in qualifying, it was decent, but if you had said top 2, I think he would have taken it.
Definitely.
He had a great start right at the beginning, went up into second place, but this was all about Nizmax and Munna.
No.
Race got taken away from us, and he's just kept it constant. And actually led for a while. For a long while.
Only ook with our penalties, kept it on the track. It's done magnificently. No, that's a P2 on merit, definitely.
14 minutes remain.
Oof.
Lap times averaging 1:50.
I think
laps we got to go here, another 7 or 8 laps, I'd say. We're on
around about
lap 42, so maybe we'll get a 50 lap race here.
Yeah.
Still a pretty decent length. It's almost... What was longer, the 100% in the F1 or the hour and a half? They're more or less the same.
Look, F1 is 100% race is also not by any stretch of the means easy. But
This is different. There's more to this. There's calculations, there's fuel, there's tire management. There's tire management in F1, but not to this degree.
No.
When the tires go off on this car, it's not the same racing car. It's terrible. It's unmanageable.
F1, the cars have got more natural grip. It's easier to keep your line and drive consistently. This, I mean, if you miss your braking point by 2 meters in an F1 car, you're gonna go a little bit wide. You're gonna be slow through the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you miss it by 2-3 meters in one of these vehicles, you've got a chance of going off circuit, which normally is the case. Number one. Number two, like you say, you have to calculate much more.
There's more to think about, you know, and there's just, I don't know. F1 can be, I don't know, I think F1 can sound a little bit more straightforward, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's so much that can happen in an endurance race, and instead of losing 30 seconds in the pits, you lose 2-3 minutes in the pits, and you come out 3 laps behind, and you just keep going, because there's a chance that could happen to another 2 or 3 people, and you could come back into this race.
Exactly. I mean, Toki not falling away, he's only 25 seconds behind.
And he's maintained that gap.
Yeah, he's maintained it. I mean,
maintained that gap. It was 25 or 26 seconds after the pit stops, and that's where it still is. I mean,
it only takes one Cadillac to cost you 2 minutes. And then,
old Leo.
Stops. Yeah, no, you didn't.
There's the man, Leo Gray. Sure, we won't be seeing him again. His random name.
He's just stalking and haunting people. That's all he's doing. Oh dear, Toki's coming up behind him. Oh dear, Toki, watch out. Cadillac of death in front. Just keep an eye. We're coming to the famous first go. Oh, that Cadillac. It looks like it's waltzing down the straight, and it's not even taking a corner.
No, I wonder if Toki wasn't there with Nizmax and Munna. So I
would
wonder
have
if he's
no
aware
idea.
of this driver
You would have no idea.
and his history around Imola in the last 30 minutes.
And he's diving on the inside. That guy, let's hope he sees him. Oh, turning in. Contact. Not as
Could have
bad.
been worse. There was contact, but I think Toki got
Yeah.
away pretty unscathed
Yeah, but
when you
now
compare
it's
it to some of his other
yeah.
victims.
I can tell you that Cadillac does not like Porsches. Not any Porsche.
I think he wanted a Porsche drive.
Oh, yeah,
Now Muna not having fun with the AI once again. Gets by now.
Oh, I can just imagine the comments going down in the game chat right now. Oh,
Devon in fourth. Gavin in
and
first.
it's not a scratch on it, Honda. You look at Gavin's Audi. Yeah. It's
He hasn't been the fastest, but I'm glad to see him here. 8 minutes remaining, he's held on.
yeah, it's good to see. He's also coming up to the Cadillac of death. But
Absolutely.
he
Don't know if he's going to be aware of the
look
double
at that
Muna
Audi.
incident. So you might just want to be careful.
That Cadillac must be aware of the Audi behind him because it looks worse. Look, dive bombing straight to
Ooh, wow. That could have been very bad. It almost looked like Gavin hit the brakes at just the right moment.
There we go.
And he's got him pretty nicely there. No contact this time. For some reason, I think Gavin drives on the same frequency as that guy.
Oh,
like he understood. Did you see? He braked. He knew that guy was going to cut across. He braked. The guy missed him, passed him into the next corner made it look easy. And well, I guess I'm saying Gavin's on the same frequency as a terrible driver.
Yeah, no, well, I thought you were going to take this conversation way down the other line and say, Gavin should drive a Cadillac.
Combox, we can't insult Gavin like that on a public forum.
Nah, never. Gavin can't be insulted.
Don't give me an American racing car.
I'll never be able to insult Gavin. If that Oak's a champion.
Give me an American racing car and expect me to take you seriously.
You're also gonna get banned from YouTube soon.
I really don't care. Google South Africa pays me nothing. So Google USA, go bad.
Yeah, Cadillac.
I doubt we concern them much though.
No, I don't think so.
Our 4 viewers over the course of the night, I don't think they're too preoccupied.
Oh, yeah. That's why we've got another thing in our favour, Jonathan. And if we want to make Cadillac comments, I think in future we should do it in Afrikaans. Jy weet. So, dat ons maatjies aan die kant die see nie verstaan mooi wat ons sê nie, want Cadillacs is rarig spesiaal. Dit is not for racing. Tell you that much. Anyway, we'll leave it there.
You get a lot of car brands that are special, but they don't belong on a racetrack.
No. But I think a Cadillac was never built to be on a racetrack. I mean, it's a luxury vehicle to do other activities in, not racing. Anyway, that's my personal feeling.
Lap 47. 5.5 minutes remaining on the clock. As Max is your leader, 23 seconds is your gap.
Yeah, I think we'll squeeze another 3 out, yeah. So I think you spot on when you said lap 50.
Look at your timing screen. See if the penalties have changed. Gavin up to 13 seconds. Chen 12. 14, as I say that, it jumped to 14. That's not good. And Winner's gone up to 6.
Yeah.
I was gonna want to keep an eye on those penalties.
No, I think driving with a hard head is quite hard to concentrate sometimes. So I'm thinking he's just wanting to finish the race and drink some champers with his race engineer and just forget about this.
Well, in the case of the Rugby World Cup, Heineken.
Yeah.
Apparently, Prince Harry didn't drink the beer they offered him. He took a sip. Apparently he thought about it, but then he turned around and pointed at the cameras and said, "You know,
I can't do that in front of them, yeah." But he did have a wee little sip.
I'm sure he had a sip.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And in Prince Harry's little sip, he probably had the Webb Ellis to himself with the beer.
He probably phoned his grandmother and said, "Don't wait up for me. I'm a bit naughty."
Oh no, I'm going out for a jowl with Faf.
Yeah.
And his underpants.
Faf and kids off the other ginger.
Yeah, and Faf probably went out that night in that speedo.
I'm telling you.
And a hard hat.
And he's probably fucking still wearing it, I'm sure.
What a tournament.
Oh yeah, I know. Fantastic sport we had the last month or so. Some Formula 1 races.
Sure, our cricket team could replicate that, but yeah, we just went down 3-0 in the test series to India, and we're currently ranked 7th in the world. So that's pretty shocking.
I'm pretty sure Bangladesh is better than us at the moment. But
I'm pretty sure Bangladesh is more than 7. I think there's only 9 teams. I think there's only 9 test teams, if I'm being honest with you, and yeah, we're 7. So,
we still got a little way to fall to the bottom.
There's only a few teams ahead of us, like England and Australia and New Zealand and Pakistan and India and probably some, I don't know. But
we've got one Faf drinking beer at a World Cup trophy, and we've got another Faf sulking because they can't play cricket. So
I think the difference is the one drinks the beer after the game, the other drinks it before.
Well, maybe they should swap speedos. I don't know. That'd be an improvement.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh no. There was actually a game about 2-3 years ago between the Springboks and the Proteas. They played a cricket game down at Newlands.
Ah, yes.
Trevor and Kanye, he actually played. The helmet didn't fit on his head, so that was quite entertaining. He just had the thing on top of his head, but the grill was on top of his face. It didn't actually fit. And Faf du Plessis obviously played for the Proteas, and Faf de Klerk played for the Springboks, and on the back of his shirt said, Tnr Faf.
Tnr Faf.
Yes.
Fantastic. Yeah, I remember that. All for charity, of course. But a good initiative. But
obviously made famous because cricket game was obviously won by the Springboks.
Yeah.
Courtesy of a Victor Matfield
Masterclass.
slog.
Yeah. Anyway. I think this would be the last lap. Or second last lap.
I wonder if the English cricket team could beat the English rugby team at rugby. Get James Anderson out there. Oh, no, I don't think. That wouldn't go well.
I'm pretty sure the English rugby team can beat the South African cricket team at the moment. So, let's just leave it at that.
Okay, we're on the final lap. Time has run out. So obviously, we will now go to the end of this lap. Lap 50 is the lap.
Yeah, indeed.
Socky in second place, 20 seconds adrift, and there is that 5-second penalty, so on your timing screens it'll say 14 seconds. Impressive.
Yeah. Very impressive.
Muna still holding on to third. Is that an identical car?
It looks like it, and it's just as broken. I think it's Frickles. He just overtook there. Yeah,
that's quite funny because in the last race, you were here in the last race, we commentated together. Frick had his yellow Porsche for the entire season, and then in that race, somebody, I can't remember who it was, but somebody had the exact same livery. One of the human drivers had exactly the same livery of Porsche, and Frick changed his livery today, and well, Muna decided to jump in a Porsche.
At the moment, both Porsches looked like Beetles, to be honest, but
they're both not looking too fantastic at the time.
I mean, Cadillacs will do that to you, I suppose.
Oh no, get that Cadillac at that sort of speed, do you? Or at all. Talkie going side by side with an AI. Always makes you a little nervous.
Yeah.
Very nicely done. Obviously, after completion, there was actually 51 laps. Very nicely done for Nismax. Could have been a very different race. I've spoken about that enough. But Muna bringing it home in third place.
Yeah,
and probably mumbling on the inside of that helmet. Porsches will go over the line together, and those aren't identical. My apologies. The one's green and the one's yellow. There we go. Different bumpers and rear wings. Fourth place for Devon. Good job on the day. Come around the final corner, and actually, if you look at his car, it looks pretty neat.
Yeah, looks clean.
Maybe not the fastest, but seems to have had a relatively clean day. Have a look who is next to come over the line. It's Gavin. Not sure if he's gonna make it or if that race timer's gonna cut him off.
No, it's just that Attie, they had a hard day.
Yeah, no, definitely. Just that it's not even gonna get to the line. That Attie's just begging to. Oh, there we go. Let's just read your results. Obviously, the AI don't pick up points, so I won't read the AI. Nismax first. Toki came in second. Brilliant race. Muna and Lucky coming in third. Devon fourth. Gavin fifth. Then Chen will come through for sixth. And Judge in seventh, I believe. I'll try to read that quickly because I know this game is unpredictable, but I think I missed someone.
I wanted to see if Leo was American.
Absolutely. Now we'll never know. The likelihood of that combination. American driver Leo who? I already forgot. Leo Gray in his In his what?
Cadillac.
Oh, in his Cadillac. Oh no, I don't. Leo Grey in his Cadillac doesn't sound like an interesting bloke at all. Well, anyone who's watched, anyone who's been watching with us or listening to our rambles, or anyone who's going to watch this later, thanks a lot. Wazzy, thanks for joining me.
You too, Jonathan. I had a fantastic time joining in the combats, experiencing this. And as usual with you, always a pleasure.
And if things go according to plan, we'll be back next week, same time, for round 10. I'd mention what the track is, but I'm a very ill-prepared commentator and I have no clue. But moving on,
Yeah.
we'll be back, and may see Wazzy back in his green Z4. Might have Captain Ice back. He's getting his PS4 fixed. But we'll see you then.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.